Hey everyone out there in YouTube land, today we're going to be talking about Amazon's new shipping policy that can get you banned from Amazon. Hey everyone, I'm Joe Amazon. Welcome to my channel. Every week we bring you relevant information about making money online entrepreneurship, and selling on Amazon. Today we're going to be talking about a new policy that just dropped from Amazon about manipulating shipments. We're going to talk about what you can do to comply with the policy, what you can do to work around that policy and stay within Amazon's terms of service, and what the consequences might be if you don't follow the rules. So here we go. Here's what the new policy reads. It says, new policy, canceled, misrouted, and incomplete shipments. We're going to talk about what each one of those are. It says, effective August 31st, 2018, you are required to send the stated quantity of each product in your approved shipment plan to the facility assigned by Amazon. Amazon will notify you when we observe actions that are not compliant with this policy. This is interesting. For example, canceling parts of a multi-destination shipment plan after you've approved it, misrouting shipments, or sending incomplete shipments. We may suspend your ability to ship products to us if we observe continued non-compliance with this policy. So a couple things I'm going to read out there. The first one is they specifically mention misrouting or canceling shipments. So where this comes in, and I've even done a video on this, what we used to do is if you had 20 of an item, let's say, and they needed one in California, one in Ohio, and 18 in New Jersey, you might change the quantities around a little bit until it had 20 in New Jersey, ship those off, and then cancel the other shipments and just not worry about it. That was a great workaround for a while, but it sounds like Amazon is on to us on that one. So that's probably not going to work anymore. The other thing that they mentioned in there specifically is misrouting shipments. So like if you send to the wrong fulfillment center, I'm assuming this is not something I have a lot of experience with. I'm assuming this would be like on a private label thing, if you send everything to one warehouse when it should have gone to multiples. And then also they mentioned specifically sending incomplete shipments. So I don't know exactly what that means either. Now I've sent hundreds of shipments, maybe thousands this year. So I've had a couple where my count was off. So I was supposed to send 15 and I sent 14 and you got to reconcile it. I'm not sure if I actually did or if they counted wrong or one got damaged. Who knows? I don't think that they're going to penalize you hugely for a minor infraction like that. But anyways, it sounds like they're really cracking down. So we're going to have to start playing by the rules a little bit more than we used to. So there's basically two workarounds for staying within their policy and shipping. This is particularly relevant in retail arbitrage because you have a lot of different commingled products. But it also applies to your private label. Like my private label products come in, I send them to 10 different warehouses. So there's two ways you can kind of work around that. The first one is to case pack products. So like this product right here, I just packed up, is, I think there's 10 in here. I bought these for $3, they sell for 20 bucks. Awesome deal. I wish they had more, but they only had 10. So if I would have put in 10 individually, they would have gone to 5 different warehouses or 3 different warehouses. By making this a case pack, because now I put it in a box, sealed it all together, it's now a case of 10. It's only going to one warehouse. It only cost me $4.50, I think. So that's my first tip, is you can case pack. It doesn't have to be a factory case pack. So if you have a lot of one item, or not a lot, but enough where it makes sense, go ahead and case pack it. Another thing I'll mention is Amazon shipping is pretty cheap anyways, especially if it's small items. So I wouldn't get too hung up on trying to route your shipments. The other thing you can do, and I'm going to go to the computer now, and we'll take it from there, but I'm going to show you how you can, within Amazon, request that everything goes to one warehouse. So let's jump over to the computer. Watch, actually, then. All right, so here we are in Seller Central. Here's the new policy announcement that I talked about. All you can do is you can go up here to the upper right-hand corner. There's a button that says Settings. And then you're going to scroll down to Fulfillment by Amazon. It's not under shipping settings, which would make sense. It's under Fulfillment by Amazon. So you're going to click on Fulfillment by Amazon. And here we go. So now you're on this page. The second one down is your inbound settings. That's where you want to go. So this has inventory placement option. So right now I have enabled distributed inventory placement. That means it's going to go, wherever it wants to go. But over here on the right, there's a button that says Edit. So if you click that Edit button, this will tell you. So there's another option here that says Inventory Placement Service. That will make everything go to one warehouse, mostly. So if you want to learn a little bit more about it, you can just click the Learn More. And over here, it'll bring up a pop-up. And it'll kind of tell you a little bit about everything. And then it'll also say exceptions. Like there's certain categories that It may not go to the same place. In my experience using this, it usually does, but there's certain times it could not, I guess. And then it also tells you about the fees. So the fees on this, if it's under a pound, it's 30 cents an item. If it's 1 to 2 pounds, it's 40 cents. If it's over 2 pounds, it's 40 cents plus 10 cents a pound above the first two. So if you had a 5 pound item, that would be 70 cents. So you'd have to look at this. It also talks about oversize. So you'd have to kind of look at this and see what makes sense for you, because 30 cents an item, you know, when I send stuff to Amazon, I generally pay less than that. So it may be worth it just to send them out to different warehouses yourself, but it may not. So it's up to you. And it may be easier just to send it to one, so maybe it's worth it. I ship all the time, every day, so it's not a big deal for me to do an extra box. It takes me 2 minutes. So anyways, I personally don't do this very much, although I have done it a couple times. So anyways, something to be aware of. You have to do the math for yourself. I'll show you, as long as we're in here, I will show you a couple other things. Let me just go back to the main page. All right, so for instance, they have repackaging. So they'll repackage unsellable customer returns. So if somebody sends something in with a damaged box, they'll repackage it in certain categories. I don't like that. To me, it relies on them to say if it's good or bad or whatever. And I just don't like to take the risk. So I disable that, but you could do it. They also have automated unfulfillable removal. A lot of people ask about unfulfillable items. Generally, they get destroyed or get sent back to you. I have mine. I like to have them returned. I don't have my automatic settings set that way because I kind of look at it case by case now. But with my private label products, I definitely like to get them back just to see if there's any flaws, if there's any comments. Sometimes people will put a note in there. But this is where you could have that automated. If you're only doing private label, you'd want to probably automate it. Because I do a lot of retail arbitrage also, I don't want every product back. There's also automated long-term storage removals. Now, I'm going to do a video on this because long-term storage is not as scary as people make it sound. And Amazon scares you when you go in the settings. But I'm going to do another video on that. I don't recommend doing it, but you could, if you wanted to avoid that altogether, you can enable that right here. As far as global selling, definitely enable that. It doesn't cost you anything. You might as well. If you have a product that's eligible for subscribe and save, so I don't have any products that are really subscribe and save products. Most of my products are, one-time use. They're not something that, if you were selling paper towels, for instance, people would order them every month. Or if you had a cosmetic product or something like that, this is where you could enable subscribe and save, where you've seen this on your Amazon, 10% off if you do a subscribe and save. I think it's a great thing, and that's where you'd enable it. Below that is also your multi-channel fulfillment settings. So when you do something, if it'll print on your packing slip, this just says my merchant name, and then mine just says thank you for your purchase. But you can put whatever message you want there. That's where you would enable it. Then the last one that I think is good on here is down at the bottom. It's kind of hidden, is the giveaways setting. So this is where you would enable giveaways to be able to use that as a marketing in Seller Central, to be able to utilize that tool in Seller Central for the giveaway. So that's where you'd enable that. Okay, so now that you know how to work around that as best we can, what are the consequences if you don't? Again, I don't think if you make one mistake here and there, it's going to be a big deal, but they say right in their thing that they'll suspend your ability to ship. So what that tells me is they're taking this seriously. They're not going to mess around. You can get suspended and or banned. They're also putting a lot more emphasis on seller metrics, and that's going to really affect your seller metrics. So the bottom line here is I wouldn't mess around with it. We gave you a couple workarounds that you can do that are totally legit and totally within Amazon's terms of service. So go ahead and do those. But otherwise, just follow the rules and you'll make enough money. There's lots of money to be made on Amazon. So tell me what you think in the comments. Is this good or bad for business? And is 30 cents a fair price? I suppose it probably, in my opinion, probably depends on what you're shipping and how much it would cost you to do it on your own. For me, case packing generally makes the most sense. I don't try not to buy onesie twosies anyway, so I prefer to buy a bulk of things. So a case pack generally works great for me, and that solves the problem. But let me know what you think. Also, let me know if you have any future topics. I'm going to try and do a lot more on YouTube. So if you have other things you'd like me to discuss, comment them down below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe.